All right, ladies and gents, boys and girls, happy Monday, April the 25th, 2022. I'm Chris Phillips, your host of the Daily Crow of the Spurs Up Show. Appreciate you all tuning in. We have got a lot to get into here on this Monday, a busy Monday for sure. Let's make sure, okay, everything is operating as it should be. In the chats, I see Austin Greer, Cocky Twan, Travie, John Kruger, Adam Ritter. I do not believe, Austin Greer, that YouTube is down because we have folks commenting on YouTube as we speak. So I do not believe that YouTube is down. Yeah, I'm seeing it live on YouTube, Austin, so you might want to check again. Bill Luttrell, what's going on? Travie, appreciate you all tuning in. Also, guys, if you're in the Big Cock Club, head over to the Big Cock Club Discord channel, the TDC questions channel, I should say, to be sure that your questions are answered there. My guy, Brendan, already commenting saying probably going to miss the first hour because of class, but hashtag fire Kingston. Brian Lattimore says he's out doing training in Fort Stewart, catching a couple weeks. Brian, best of luck, my friend. Appreciate you. If you need anything, reach out to me, let me know. But yeah, really, really good stuff, Brian. Appreciate you. Larry Gornto, what's going on? Yeah, appreciate you all tuning in, guys. Like I said, we got a lot to get into, a lot to dive into. You know what's so funny? Adam Ritter commenting 10 minutes before we even went live. And I was talking to someone about 11 o'clock this morning, and I knew exactly what Ritter was going to say. Can we please stop playing Eister Braswell, all these other so-called baseball players? They're terrible. I knew that. Ritter, just give it a rest, man. Give it a rest. Give it a rest. Who you got, Ritter. That's it. Bottom line. Who you got, Yeah, there he is. Ritter, again, stop playing Braswell. Ritter. Who you got, man. Just give it a rest. Just give it a rest, my guy. Either way, we are taking your questions, your comments, your calls, 843-790-3377. That is 843-790-3377. Again, guys, I do want to hear from you because, again, there's a lot to discuss and a lot to dive into with what happened over the weekend and, of course, today's podcast. And in case you missed yesterday's video after the game and just where I sit now with Gamecocks baseball and my updated thoughts and where I think the program should go. Long story short, it is Fire Kingston. It is Fire Kingston. At this point, I am ready. I am done. Again, as I said on the podcast this morning, guys, we all reach a breaking point at some point, right? We all reach a breaking point. And I selfishly did not want to lead or the narrative of this season be fire Mark Kingston, fire the head coach. I did not want that to be the narrative of the season because I wanted to enjoy baseball season selfishly. But unfortunately, what's happened is it's gotten to the point where I'm not enjoying baseball season anymore. And the only thing that's even going to make it slightly interesting at this point, because certainly it doesn't feel like you're playing for anything. 19-20 overall, 6-12 in SEC play. Doesn't feel like you're playing for anything. So the only thing that's really going to make it interesting at all is yours truly calling for Mark Kingston's job. And we're to that point where certainly it's justified. I know many of you, I'm probably like one of the last ones to come out and vocally say it. But I just had that small glimmer of hope that maybe, just maybe, it's a long season. You can turn things around. Nah, we're past that. We're past that. And if you want to ignore the numbers, the statistics, you know, as I talked a couple weeks ago, one of the most damning things of all, when you have former players, some of the greatest to ever wear the jersey, when you got guys that played for this dude last season coming out and saying he's no good, he's not the answer. When you have stuff like that happening, that's as damning as anything. And you can talk injuries and you can give me this excuse and that excuse. But guys, bottom line, it's kind of baseball to win anyway. And if you don't win here, there's no gray area, as I've said before. If you don't win here, you got to get out. If you don't win here, you've got to get out. And I thought maybe last year this program had sort of turned a corner under Mark Kingston, thinking, you know what? they added some sticks to the portal, and we were so reliant on the home run ball last year, and you've recruited well on the mound, and maybe this year you'll be able to put it together. But the hitting woes just continue. I don't even care about the pitching. Sure, you got injuries. Guys, you're hitting 221 in SEC play. I mean, you're pathetic swinging the bats. You're pathetic. And there's just some disconnect between Mark Kingston's philosophy and his approach and the way guys respond to him. There's some disconnect. There's just some disconnect there. So I don't think with South Carolina baseball, I don't think you wait 7, 8, 9 years to make a change. The second the guy's not the guy, you're just delaying the inevitable if you don't make a change. The second he's not the answer, if you don't make a change, you're delaying the inevitable. That's all you're doing. That's all you're doing. And I'm not saying that if Mark Kingston was retained, that, we might not field a quality team here and there, because it's South Carolina. We're going to get good players. We're going to get some pretty quality players. But is Mark Kingston the answer to get us back to Omaha at any point? The answer is a resounding no. And that's not a hot take. That's like the most no-brainer take of all time. The answer is a resounding no. So, as we sit here on this Monday, guys, the season's over. I mean, baseball season is virtually over. Our hopes and dreams of the postseason are over. Our hopes of making the SEC tournament are nearly over. And with that being said, the Mark Kingston era is over. It's over. It's it. It's done. It's cooked. It's finished. It's kaput. It's history. And it's time for South Carolina to move on. That's it. Nobody cares anymore. I can't be a hypocrite, right? I can't be a hypocrite because I said what I said about basketball under Frank Martin and where we were and what was going down with the program, right? About apathy and nobody cared anymore. I got to keep it a buck with baseball too. It's just as bad, if not worse. It's just as bad, if not worse. Because you think about it, I mean, basketball outside of the Final Four, we've never had success. We've never had big success. Baseball, we have fallen so astronomically far. The apathy is even worse because it's like, dude, it's one thing to go through a dry spell of not getting to Omaha, right? It's one thing to go through a dry spell of not making the super regionals. It's one thing. And here, we'll jump to the phone lines.
Call from
my guy, Dave.
Dave Garrett.
Dave, what's up, man? How are you?
I'm doing pretty good, man. Nice day out today.
Yeah, it's a beauty.
For the first time, I have a disagreement with you. I think with the statement you just made regarding getting good players, I think if they keep Kingston, I don't think anybody's going to want to come play for him. And with the baseball season the way it's going, I am glad that you're considering taking some time off. That means you could come right back with football simulation whenever you get back. So it's supposed to be a decent week weather-wise, other than tomorrow. But hope you enjoy it, man. And I'll see you soon. Thanks.
Dave, appreciate the call, my guy. Well, I'll say this to his point. I understand what you're saying, Dave, but I think still there's kids that are growing up that want to go to Carolina. It's just Carolina baseball still. I don't think Mark Kingston has completely destroyed the way we all view South Carolina baseball. Those national championships aren't going away. I think it's still a cool thing to be a Carolina baseball player. So in state, I think there's always going to be guys, some of the top talent that's going to want to come to USC. I'm not saying you're wrong in the sense of like recruiting across the country or just recruiting nationally, whatever. getting the best players. I mean, again, the best players want to go where it's fun, aka you're winning, you're competing to go to Omaha, you're competing for some championships. You know, that's why when Ray Tanner had it rolling, I mean, you're able to get really, really good players, man, because we were the best. We were one of the best, a top 10 program at minimum every year. So you'd be, you know, if Carolina came calling, if Ray Tanner came calling, you'd have been foolish not to take the call. You'd have been foolish not to consider South Carolina, you know. But, yeah, a little bit different scenario right now for sure. Travis says, why in the world did we ever go after Kingston? Anyways, I don't know, Travis. I mean, that was, what was that, 2017? I don't know how they landed on him, but when that happened, you had to trust Ray Tanner, man. It's like he's a baseball guy. He's a baseball guy. I mean, you felt like Ray Tanner is going to be able to pick a baseball guy, you know? So, anyways, guys, I do want to hear from you, 843-790-3377. But, listen, it's been something that's been in the back of my mind for a while. I didn't go vocally public and say, you know, hashtag fire Mark Kingston, didn't lead with it necessarily. Because, like I said, selfishly, I just didn't want to. Like, I wanted to enjoy the baseball season. But when it gets to a point like it was yesterday, where I'd rather do anything else other than watch this team play, it's just that says it all. You know what I mean? That says it all. That says it all. So I'm trying to keep the energy up around the program. I'm trying to keep the energy up around Carolina baseball. The only way to do that's calls for Mark Kingston's job. Because if like it's just not good enough. It's just not good enough. Excuse me, guys. It's just not good enough to go weekend after weekend after weekend just saying, well, injuries and this excuse and that excuse. It's like, it's just not good enough, man. It's just not good enough. I mean, people want to bring up injuries. Like, even if there were no injuries on the pitching staff, even if there were no injuries, I mean, you're hitting 221 in SEC play. What difference would it make? Anyways, there's a standard expectation here. I don't have to, like, as I told you before, like, I don't have to go on some crazy 2-hour-long rant here. I think it's very simple. I don't think the solution is difficult. I don't think there's a gray area here. You know, we face decisions in life where we try to make a gray area in our head and we weigh options, and that's great and everything. Decision making, that's very important, but there's decisions sometimes, man, that are just obvious. And instead of ignoring all the telltale signs, just make the decision. I mean, it's to me, it's a no-brainer. Kingston's got to go. He's got to go. So he's got to go. Again, 843-790-3377, guys. That's 843-790-3377. Quick update for you all, by the way. This is a different kind of week. Yours truly going to be out of town Wednesday through the end of the weekend. Heading out Wednesday, my sister's fiance, a.k.a. my future brother-in-law, bachelor party. We are going out of town for it. So there will be no Daily Crow Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I'm sorry. There'll be no Daily Crow Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Podcast will drop on Wednesday. There's no midweek game this week, in case you guys did not know, because of exam week. But podcast will drop on Wednesday, which will be a full series preview of the Alabama series. And I'm not going to stop covering baseball. We're not. Nope. I'm going to go through the entire thing. We're going to cover baseball. That's it. We're going to cover baseball. Not going to stop covering it. So, series preview Wednesday for the Bama series, which starts on Thursday, Friday, Saturday. All 3 games at Founders Park. But no Daily Crow Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Again, content will be bleeding out the eyeballs, though, guys. I'll have plenty of content lined up. The Airbnb we're staying in is sick, by the way, with a pool. So pool content will be happening. So there will be content, but no Daily Crow Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Yeah, just to give you guys an update on what's going on. So, Travi, I appreciate you. Brian Dean says, Mark Kingston will get a free pass with Ray Tanner. Last year's team had better offense. Thought we struck out, though we struck out. Ray Tanner steps down as an AD and returns as the coach of the yard. Gotcha. Brian, Ray Tanner's never coaching baseball again.
Call from
Let's jump to the phone lines.
Robbie Davis, a.k.a. Kirk.
Robbie, what's up, man? How are you?
I'm doing fantastic today. How are you?
I'm doing well, man. Appreciate you asking. What's going on?
I just wanted to say I almost 100% agree with you that Kingston's got to go.
Yeah, I mean, it feels pretty obvious to me, my guy.
Because, like I have said before, if the results ain't there, you're going to get fired. I mean, I hate beating a dead horse, but it's the truth. When it comes to the coaching profession, if you ain't getting the results done, you will be fired. And seeing as you will be gone the back half of the week, I'm going to go ahead and give you my prediction for the weekend. I think we will lose 2 or 3. We'll lose Friday and Saturday and win Sunday.
Fair enough. By the way, we play Thursday through Saturday, but I get what you're saying. I
Okay.
get what you're saying. Yeah.
See, I didn't know.
We'll win Saturday, lose Thursday, Friday. I get what you're saying. Yeah.
You know what I mean.
I know what you mean. No, yeah, I mean,
But,
it's you know, I don't know. I think it's pretty crystal clear, man. And again, even if you want to ignore, say, well, it's just a bad year. But and you can't just take everything these guys say and just run with it, and, like, let them, basically run the program, right? As much as we love alums and all that, you can't just do everything they say. But when you got all these former players, all these all-time legends that are saying, he ain't the guy. I mean, you got guys from last year that have reached out to me saying that, he's not it. I mean, it just feels so. Who is in Kingston's corner at this point? Like, it feels so obvious. It feels so obvious,
I will say this: his coaching seat is sweltering hot at this point.
Yeah, I think that's a kind way of putting it, for sure. Yeah.
Because honestly, I feel like we have lost quite a few games that we should not have lost, because we were better than most of the teams that we have played, in my opinion. And we're just not consistent at all. The only thing we're consistent at is losing at this point.
Yeah, and as I said before, that inconsistency is the character trait of just a bad team. I mean, you're just a bad baseball team. So, I mean, you are what your record says you are. You are what the stats say you are. You're at the bottom of the SEC in basically every statistical category. So, I mean, there's just no, there's no getting around it. You know what I mean? That you are what the numbers say you are, which is very bad. So,
there's no sugarcoating it. It's very hard for you to sugarcoat crap.
Facts.
Because
yeah.
that's how
Facts.
we've been playing.
Facts indeed.
But don't get me wrong. We want our team to, like I always said before as well. We want our team to succeed, and right now the baseball team is not succeeding. It's almost like there's like, in my opinion, now there's like 10 feet of crap, and then there's us.
Yeah, I mean, we're not very good, Robbie. I mean, I'm looking at the stats right now. These aren't even let's see. Yeah, these aren't even just SEC stats. These are overall stats. For all the games, we are hitting 259 overall, which is the worst in the conference. Again, this is all games. This isn't even just SEC. We're hitting 259, which is worse in the conference by 13 points. Florida is second to last, which is shocking, hitting 272. We're last in slugging. We're last in on-base percentage. We're last in runs scored. We're last in hits. We're last in RBIs. Last in doubles. We are second to last in triples. We are last in home runs. We're last in every offensive category you can think of, pretty much. We are second to last in most strikeouts. We are, yeah. So,
now,
and we've also grounded into the most double plays, and then we're 13th in earned run average. 13th in earned run average.
Hear me out before you say anything, okay? Hear me out, okay? Mm-hmm. If, and this is a ginormous if he comes back next season, mm-hmm. he's going to have a target on his back. Basically, you better start winning, or you're gone. End of story. That's a big if. But I feel like that's what's going to happen if he comes back next year. He's going to be told, you better start winning and winning consistently and beating teams that we're supposed to beat. But like you have said on a number of occasions, when it comes to baseball, anybody can beat anybody on any given day or night. It's all about whose pitching staff is doing better, who's capitalizing with runners on, who's getting hits whenever they need them. And we're not doing that.
Yeah, because we're not a good team, Robbie.
Suck.
I'll just say this: Chad Holbrook was fired for less. Chad Holbrook was ran out of town for less. So
honestly,
I'd like to see the energy be kept very consistent.
I would love to have Holbrook back at this point.
I'd love to see the energy kept consistent.
The only thing the thing is though, with Holbrook, we were winning. We were at least winning consistently. Even though, yes, he was basically handed the job after the GOAT retired, okay?
Here's a hot take, and I don't really know if I even want to open up this can of worms. I don't think Chad Holbrook was really that bad of a hire. Like, it made a lot of sense when it happened. The guy had been
How many wins were we averaging the year that he was our head man?
We averaged 40 wins per year, which is the standard in college baseball. It's kind of the golden standard. If you average 40 wins per year.
And he still got fired?
Well, he had 2015 and 2017. He had 2 bad years, missed the postseason. That was it. So, and 2017 was really the final straw where we came into that season. I know you may not remember this. We came into the 2017 season ranked 4th in the country in the preseason. And, that team suffered a lot of injuries, and we only won 32 games, went 13-17 in SEC play. And that was it. We missed the postseason. So, yeah, didn't work out, but that hire made a ton of sense. I mean, the guy was on the staff and recruited all those great players to Carolina. And it was just kind of, hey, just carry the torch and keep it going. And that was it. I mean, I know people – I mean, Holbrook was doomed from the jump because you never want to be the guy that follows the legend. You just don't. You just don't want to be that guy.
Right.
And, I mean, somebody's got to do it, though, and he was.
From that point out, you got a target on your back. You're like, if I don't win, I'm screwed.
I mean, not going to Omaha just wasn't good enough, which, I mean, I love the high expectations, but it was just a level of expectations that Holbrook was never going to. And I had Chad Holbrook on the show. Probably about a year ago, maybe a little bit over a year. And, you know, you could tell from his tone of voice and the conversation that, you know, he was like, hey, we had a lot of success. He said, you know, we averaged 40-plus wins per year there, which is like averaging 9 wins per year in football, a.k.a. making the point or just making the point of we were really good when I was there. You know, we were really good. So they had some bad years down the stretch, but the program was pretty good. I mean, even that 17 team that it didn't pan out. I mean, look at all the great players from that team. We had big league guys on that team. I mean, granted, some of them got hurt, but we had big league guys on that team. I don't think we got a single big league guy on the roster right now. I don't know. I mean, maybe if a Braylon Wimmer could come into his own, maybe one day Michael Braswell. I don't know. But outside of that, maybe a Will Sanders. There aren't many, though. There are not many.
Yeah, there's not many. And fun fact, I don't know if you know this. This has nothing to do with what we're talking about. But as of today, me and you met for the first time.
I saw that on Facebook, Robbie. Awesome stuff. I love that. Fantastic memory indeed.
I was like, I'm going to post this.
Yeah, and I saw that on Facebook. I appreciate you tagging me in it. That was awesome. Crazy to think the spring game was the spring game last year, a year ago today. Wow. Time flies. Truly.
Yeah.
Time really does fly.
Yeah, you ain't kidding. And also, I'm hoping by some miracle, though, even though I picked us to lose 2-3, just don't go out there thinking, I don't want to screw up. Because if you go out there thinking, and this is with any sport, you go out there thinking, I don't want to screw up, you're going to screw up. Just go out there and play and let the chips fall where they may. Don't think about it. Just go out there and do it. And I feel like that has been one of the issues, especially with our hitting. I feel like they think about it too much. They're thinking, I don't want to screw up or hit and do a double play or hit a pop up and to a fly out or hit into a double play. And I feel like they're thinking that they're thinking about it too much, and they're not going out there just to play. I mean, they get to do something that a lot of people don't get to do, and that is play Division I baseball. Just go out there and have fun. And worry about the score at the end of the game.
Coach Davis said it best. Yeah, look, I think you ought to be the new head baseball coach along with the basketball coach. How about we just have you coach all three of them, all three of the big three men's sports.
Hey, if Beamer needs an assistant or if he needs a professional water boy, I'm good to hire.
Yeah, we'll just have you coach them all. Why not?
I'll do it. Don't think I won't. I'll do it. Yeah, that's my opinion on that. And I just thought of something before I called you. I was like, I don't know if he'll like this, but whenever I was playing basketball for the rec department in North Augusta, my team beat a undefeated team 36-0.
36-0.
Yeah, 36-0. They were 4-0, and we were like 1-3, and we beat them 36-0.
That don't make a whole lot of sense, Robbie, but I'll take your word for it.
I do know for a fact they were 4-0, and if my math was correct, I think we were 1-3, or 1-5, something around there.
Right.
But we went, for some reason, we clicked from tip to finish, and we beat them 36-0. But there's a major difference between rec sports and college sports, obviously.
Right.
But that was probably the most fun game I ever even experienced while playing sports.
Sounds like a blast.
Oh, yeah, it was fun. It was fun. And I'm so ready for September to get here, bro. I'm so ready for September 3rd to get here.
Yeah, I think we all are at this point, my guy. I think we all are at this point.
And the same thing goes with the football team. Just go out there and play and look at the scoreboard at the end, right? That's what, like I just said. Take care of business. Don't worry about what people are saying, what the press is saying, what the sports people are saying on Sports Center. Don't worry about that crap. Just go out there and play and take care of business and have fun. Because one thing that I would say all the time if I was coaching somewhere, just go out there and have fun. And at the end of the day, I'm going to be proud of you, regardless of what the score is. As long as you give me 110%, I'm definitely going to give you 110% as your coach. So just go out there and have some fun.
Well said. Hey, I think it's that simple, my guy. Well said indeed.
All right, I'm going to get off of here and fix me some lunch. You have a great rest of your day, and you have a great back half of the week. Have fun at the party, but not too much fun, and leave the dumb stuff to me, okay?
Will do, Robbie. I appreciate you, my man.
Mm-hmm.
Take care, brother. Robbie Davis, what a call. I feel like we just went down some crazy rabbit holes there. But either way, Robbie Davis, we appreciate him calling in. Again, guys, 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. Apparently, Mark Kingston's jumping on 107.5 The Game to talk baseball right now. Who knows what he's going to say? Anyways, I do want to continue to hear from you guys. This though, like the feeling I have right now is why I waited so long to say fire Mark Kingston, because now I just feel it's already like I feel so exhausted just talking about it. It sucks. It's people think that like I get my rocks off by calling for a head coach's job. I really don't. It's a lot more fun to talk after victories and after wins and celebrate those things than it is to call for coaches' jobs. Like it's not really fun. It's not. It's not really all that fun. No, it's not. Tommy Wallace, when is the last time baseball had no chance of making the postseason at this stage in the season? I mean, you know, I don't know. I mean, I got a feeling, you know, this has got to be the worst. I mean, we're definitely set for our worst record since I think pre-Ray Tanner days. Truly, I think since pre-Ray Tanner days. So. Let's see. Justin, good thing about baseball is we are, if not very close to being a blue blood in baseball, so hiring a new coach doesn't affect us much because the allure and culture of playing South Carolina baseball. Yeah, I mean, listen, I still view it in that light. I think it should still be viewed as an elite level job. I do. I think it should still be viewed as an elite level program. We've hit a rut, but that doesn't change what this program is. I mean, we still play in one of the greatest facilities in the country. We still have incredible tradition. So just go get the right guy. Just go get the right guy. So, yeah, I don't know when the interviews will start to change up where he's going to like try to justify him being there. You know, I'll tell you this too, and I mentioned on the podcast, but I'll say it here as well. I feel like we battled. I feel like we've been battling. I don't think our players have quit. It's just the nature of the business, man. It's just you're coaching at South Carolina. I mean, again, somebody said it earlier. Chad Holbrook was fired for much, much less. I mean, it never, I'll tell you this, it never got this bad. It never got this bad under Chad Holbrook. Never. It never got this bad. I mean, his last year, you won 32 games, went 13-17 in conference play. That got him fired. I mean, granted, you didn't make the postseason, but that got him fired, right? I mean, heck, last year you won 34 games. I know you went 16-14 in conference, but you won 34 games. This year, you're probably not even going to win 30 games. 19-20 with what? 17 to go? There's no way you win 30 games. There's no way. Yeah, and so, John, I would not hire Scott Wingo. I don't think Scott's ready to be a head coach. I'd keep Scott on staff, but I definitely think Cliff Godwin, which I apologize, I called him Clint Godwin. That was wrong. Cliff Godwin or Scott Jackson from Liberty, I think would be two. Scott Jackson, especially from Liberty, hot name, I think would be a great hire. I think Link Jarrett from Notre Dame wouldn't be a bad hire. There's guys out there, but this job should be treated as an elite level job because that's what it is. Carolina baseball is still an elite program. We've hit a rut, but it's still an elite program. It should be treated as such. It should be treated as such, and the search should start now. I mean, what are we waiting on? Guys, we're going to jump into a quick break, but more of your questions, comments, calls, and more on the other side. You're tuned in to the Daily Crow. All right, guys, we're back. Taking your questions, comments, calls. 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. Again, a lot to discuss today, a lot to get into. Hope you guys were able to go to the Darius Rucker concert last night. Enjoyed it. Looked like it was a really, really good time. We posted the clip, obviously, Darius Rucker talking about Tennessee, which was classic and one we will certainly talk about over and over again. Also, guys, quick reminder, the podcast did drop this morning, of course. Episode 641, a full breakdown of the weekend series against Auburn, but more importantly, my thoughts, updated thoughts on the future of Gamecocks baseball, the changes that need to be made. And again, guys, it's very simple. It's fire Mark Kingston. I didn't want to get to this point. I really didn't. As I told you all before, selfishly, I just wanted to enjoy baseball season. I really did. I really do. I really do. I really did, and I really do want to enjoy baseball season. But you just get to a point where, I mean, God, people don't even want to watch anymore. I don't even want to watch. It's brutal. It's brutal. And you know when you've reached that point, it's time. It's time. Bottom line, it's time. So, Stacy, I appreciate it. Yeah, this hat's sick. Look at the side, too. I love this hat. This hat's fire. Little old school cap. This thing's awesome. So, anyways, I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts. Am I jumping the gun? Am I right on the money? You know, I said this on social media, but, you know, when I called for Muschamp's job, that was seen as a hot take, right? At the time, that was seen as a hot take. When I called for Frank Martin's job, or even just started to question his job status, that was seen by a fair number of people as a hot take. I don't think calling for Kingston's job is anywhere remotely near a hot take. I think it's the most no-brainer decision of them all. And again, it is crazy when you think about it. All three major sports, all three of the big three men's sports, are going to be changing head coaches, or at least should be, if South Carolina moves off Kingston. Changing head coaches within a 2-year span. And I guess, though, you can look at that as a positive. The program just needed to be gutted. There were hires that were made. Each of the three programs got to a point. It just needed to be gutted. Just needed to be gutted. I don't know how else you can phrase it. Just needed to be gutted. And, you know, it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. You can either embrace change or you can run from it. And we got to embrace change right now within our athletics department. Let's see. Stacy Manley says he needs to go. His teams haven't shown any improvements. Yeah, I mean, it's just mediocre. Mediocrity. Tanner Land says you're right on the money. I would clean house and fire Ray Tanner too. Yeah, I mean, I would like to see Ray Tanner step down. I would. I would like to see Ray step down. There's just so much dysfunction behind closed doors of USC, man. Board of trustees and so much dysfunction. I mean, it's rotten to the core, and it starts at the top. It starts at the top, the very, very top. So. I mean, really, truly, guys, again, I told you the updated schedule for this week. Podcast will drop Wednesday. No podcast on Friday because I will be out of town Wednesday through the end of the weekend. Somebody asked earlier where we're going. We're going down to Florida. We're going to Orlando, believe it or not. So the Airbnb is sick. We'll be down there in Orlando having a good time. No Daily Crow Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And this is the last week of April. And I mean, I've teased this a little bit. But I really have reached this point, guys, where I'm probably going to start some sort of NCAA stream. I'm going to start that early because, I mean, again, this team still has You look at the schedule. We got 4 SEC series left. 4 SEC series left, right? You got Bama Thursday through Saturday. Then your first game of the month of May, you play North Carolina A&T. Then you've got at Texas A&M for that weekend, May the 6th to the 8th. Your last regular season game is May the 21st. And then you begin the SEC tournament the following week, May the 24th through the 29th. That's your SEC tournament. I mean, I can't even believe I'm saying this, but like that entire month of May, I'd rather just start doing NCAA content, football content. At least that's entertaining. Again, my job here and objective here is to entertain. It's to entertain to a degree. And I say to it, not even to a degree, but it is to entertain. There's nothing entertaining about this baseball team. There's nothing fun about talking about it. There's nothing fun about talking about it. So, I'm gonna do some brainstorming over this weekend, believe it or not, while I'm gone. But I don't know. I think that NCAA simulations, streams, whatever, even during the Daily Crow. I mean, I think it's all on the table because who wants to just day after day after day sit here and talk about this baseball team? Unfortunately, the conversation's brutal. Bad for business. Confirmed. This baseball team is bad for business. That's a fact. I mean, this team is bad for business. And it's just going to be a shame. We're sitting there watching everybody else play in the postseason, the regionals, all that good stuff. It's a shame for sure. It's a shame. It really is a shame. That's where we are, though. Again, guys, 843-790-3377. Yeah, I don't know, man. We'll figure it out content-wise. Content always bleeding out the eyeballs. But, I'm a man of the people. And I hear you guys and understand, what's moving the needle for you guys. And this baseball team ain't moving the needle for you guys. It ain't moving the needle for nobody. It's not. It's not moving the needle for anybody. So, by the way, on a more positive note, how about Darius Rucker followed us on Twitter? Appreciate Darius for that. Truly appreciate Darius for that. Let's see. Kevin texting in. Let's see what Kevin has to say. You are right on about Kingston needing to go and Tanner. However, I'm not so certain there will be a change. Heard politically that there is some who are upset about recent paying off coaches. Do you think they would fire Kingston to pay off another coach just a couple of months after Martin? That's certainly a thing for sure. Again, there's so much dysfunction behind closed doors in regards to the board of trustees and all that. I feel like someone would step up. I feel like someone would step up and help make it happen. I think there are enough that care about this program that somebody will step up and make it happen. You feel like we've got enough big leaguers and former big leaguers that would come together and make it happen. I mean, nobody wants to sign that check. Nobody wants to, have to take that upon themselves to do it. But I think there are enough people that would care that do care about this program that would make that happen if they saw it necessary. So, Travis says, Chris, who's your top 4 teams in Omaha this year? That's a great question, man. I'm going to go, you got to go Tennessee. It's like Tennessee is a team that they're either going to win it all or they're going to lose in the supers. You know what I mean? Like have they peaked too early? That's the only question. But they're unstoppable. I'm going Tennessee. Tennessee, number 1. Virginia, number 2. This is where it gets really tough because I haven't paid enough attention. I'll go Arkansas 3. See, baseball's so unpredictable. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, man. Let's look at the D1 baseball rankings. And we'll go Oregon State, 4. How about Southern Miss being ranked 4th in the D1 baseball top 25? 4th. Unreal. But see, here's the thing about it. Listen, how about this too? Listen to some of these teams that are ranked. Southern Miss 4th. Gonzaga 12th. Texas State 17th. Maryland 23rd. Georgia Southern 24th. And Wofford, the Wofford Terriers, 25th. Wild. Absolutely wild. Again, guys, want to hear from you, 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. How about this? NFL draft is also this week. The NFL draft is this week. John Kruger, no, Liberty is not in the top 25. No. No, Liberty is not in the top 25. I just checked again. Courtney Washington, what's going on? Appreciate you tuning in. Justin, I think Hayden Brown will be a big asset for basketball. GG's going to commit this week. Yeah, Justin, I think the odds we get GG are like negative 10%, like straight up. There's no way we're getting GG Jackson. Dallas Baptist. People said NC State, Texas. Sven Webster, when's the last time we didn't have a projected first-round pick? Been a few years. I mean, it's been a little bit. I know some hyped up JJ Enagbare during the season. He's definitely not a first-round pick, though. He's definitely not a first. Where are the? I haven't seen. Maybe it's because we don't have a projected first-round pick, but I haven't seen a whole lot of mock drafts lately. Here we go. I guess maybe because they're just doing the first round. That's probably it. Yeah. Yeah, no Enagbare in the first. I think he's probably a third or fourth rounder. I don't think I don't think he's a first rounder. I think that Quan White probably signs as a free agent. Like, does Kevin Harris get drafted? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Dusty Rhodes, does Debo stay a 49er? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I think Debo's made it very clear he wants out, right? I think he's made it very clear he wants out. Yeah, Savannah, I think Jalen Foster probably signed. Well, who knows? Maybe Foster gets drafted. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. Thursday through Saturday, though, the draft will be going down. Rumor says Debo's going to be a Jet. Oh, my God. I hope not for his sake. Jesus Christ. Go to a good team. Jason Derrick, Zeb Nolan first round. Dude, if the draft lined up with April Fool's Day, that would be like the greatest April Fool's joke ever. Let's see. Yeah, Debo being a Panther would be incredible. Yeah, coming back to the Carolinas. Would love to see that. Travie, was Tim Tebow in town with Beamer? Yeah, he was in town. Yeah. Yeah, that was at the facility. So I don't know necessarily why he was in town, but he just was. So that was pretty cool. That was pretty cool seeing Tebow back in Columbia. Anyways, guys, do want to hear from you again. The podcast dropped this morning. Full thoughts on what happened over the weekend. Getting swept by Auburn. Yippee. Getting swept by Auburn. Fire Mark Kingston. Just here we dude, you guys realize, there's some podcasts that stand out from others. The third Fire the Coach podcast ever since the inception of TSUS. The third Fire the Coach podcast. There we go. Let's jump to the phone lines here.
Call from
John.
John, what's up, man? How are you?
Oh, nothing. That was a pathetic over the weekend.
Yeah, it was pretty brutal.
So, I was talking to somebody I am friends on Facebook with yesterday about this baseball team, and all I said is like, I have a minute to go this far. Well, all I said was to this guy I'm friends with, I said, can't score and can't hit and pitch. And then he came up with a bunch of reasons, and he told me that. He said, if this team had one relief pitcher from last year, Brett Carey, Mahoney, Bosnick, or Lloyd, how many more games last series were we have won so far? And all I said was, dude, we don't have any of those guys, and even having Bosnick or Jack would not have done much. And he said, you're crazy. Would have won the Georgia series, the series, and possibly the series against Auburn had this in Gilwis to long relief on Friday because no one else in the bullpen. And Saturday could have gone either Austin, Kate Austin, Becker, or either reliever from last year, but I don't know which one he's talking about. I mean, I don't know. And then he's like, we're averaging 5 runs times, kind of a lot. Averaging 5 runs a game in the SEC. And he's like, we're averaging per series 14 runs a series, other than Tennessee scored like 6 or 7 on, was it Saturday?
Right, yeah.
And then this one, listen, Chris, this one doesn't even make any sense. They got 3 dudes hitting over 300, 3 over 257, and 2 are freshmen. There's a weak link to Burgess Madden. To me, he's the most overrated. And Hornog is a freshman. He has good at bat. And all I said was the lineup stinks. And I think he's talking about this upcoming week against Alabama. He says Seitler and Braswell could both be over 280 next week. And then I screenshotted all these because I wanted, and I didn't get to say this to anybody, so I'm having to spill it to somebody. I'll leave that one last. And then he said, if people want to fire him because hitting, you have an argument, but if it's because of record this year, I'm insane. 0 coaches would literally, none would win with his pitching staff. And I kind of went off again. It's because we're not winning and hitting. And I'm sick of defending the pitching, injuries or not. There has to be a change made for a fresh way to change the culture. And got to make a change because it's not working anymore because we've never been able to hit, I recall, under Mark Kingston. And then this is not, I feel like this is a shot at me and you, or probably. Listen to this. This is the last one. He says, the problem is you let the Spurs Up Show guy dictate your own opinion. If we had one bullpen on, we would have won 3 more series and nobody would be talking like this. And I'm like, and all I told him was, I feel the same way about this team, regardless of pitching injuries or not. I mean, I don't know.
I'm not like totally disagreeing with him in the sense like if we had a Mahoney or if we had, if ands and buts were candy and nuts, right? But I mean, yeah, I mean if we had another arm or two, I'm not disagreeing. If we had another arm or two, we might take the Mizzou series or we might take this series. Let me get there, John. I'm not totally disagreeing with him that that's. We might have won a game or 2 more here or there. But, I mean, we'd still be sitting right at 500 and still near the bottom of the SEC in our conference record, and would still be hitting 221. So I don't know, like, how much different would the season really be? And you can't really use that hypothetical. Hey, you knew Mahoney was hurt coming in the year. I mean, the only injuries that really caught you by surprise were Bosnick and Hicks. Those are the ones you didn't expect.
Yeah.
I mean, outside of that, you kind of knew what you were dealing with, and you depended on a bunch of fifth-year guys, and the guys you brought in haven't really, outside of Noah Hall, haven't really done much for you. So, I mean, like, I get what he's saying to a degree.
Yeah, I guess.
But, I mean, to your point, I mean, after last year, I wasn't worried about the pitching. I literally said, though, after last year, hey, if we can't hit again, I'm going to be concerned regarding Kingston and his hitting philosophy and if we'll ever be able to hit under him. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, bro, it's still, even if you had the bullpen arms he's mentioning, you're still not a good team this year. I mean, it's not like the record is flipped and you're 12-6 in conference play. It's not even close. And again, you're making assumptions. You're making assumptions based off of those injuries that if none of those injuries existed, that you would have won those games, and you just can't make that assumption. You can't make that assumption because you don't know.
Yeah, you can't.
So, like, I get where he's coming from, what he's saying, but what? So we'd be, you know, we'd be 8-10 in SEC play instead of 6 and who gives a shit? Like, we still wouldn't be very good. What difference does it make?
Yeah. No. It's. I get what you're saying. Maybe look back on it. I guess it does kind of make sense, but you can't. Like you said, you can't make that assumption. Even if you had, let's just say you had one of Bosnick or Mahoney, like.
Yeah, I mean, to your point, you still can't hit. You still can't hit.
Still can't hit.
Still can't hit.
And then, like, you know, he brought up, you know, you've got 3 guys hit, what was it, 2 or 3 guys hitting over 300 and 2 over 257. But I'm like, dude, in my opinion, I'm like, in my mind, I didn't say this, and I wanted to say, you're looking at what those guys have been doing for the whole season, what their stats say right now. What have these guys been doing lately? It's just, yeah, they could be hitting over 300, but lately, nothing.
Right.
So.
Yeah. I mean.
Yeah. I mean, whatever. I had to spill.
Well, glad to know there's one person in Kingston's corner. I'm glad to know that.
Well, I know that I don't think there's many.
I'm saying your buddy is. I think I'm not. Your buddy's in Kingston's corner. I'm glad to hear it.
Yeah. I mean, whatever. I mean, so you said we have what? Bama. This is not any particular order, but Bama, A&M, Florida, and who's the other one?
Kentucky.
Yeah, of course. You got to play your division. Yeah. Anyway, had to spill to somebody. So.
Well, John, I appreciate it, my man.
Not many people.
No, I appreciate it, my man.
Yeah, I'm like, the hitting thing doesn't make any sense. His point of the hitting, I'm like, you can't hit. The pitching has nothing to do with hitting.
Right.
So nothing I hold him. All right, I want to call. I got a cold in a while, but and I had a break and had cold in a while, like I said. And you have a great time in Florida.
John, I appreciate it, my guy. Always a pleasure to chat with you.
Yeah. Yeah. See you, dude.
Yeah, man. Take care. Yeah, great stuff. 843-790-3377. Again, I mean, to his buddy's point, I understand where he's coming from. Yeah. Okay, let's jump to the phone lines here. I'm sure Skyland's going to have a lot to say on that. Skyland, what's going on, man? How are you?
Oh, what's up, my guy?
Bro, just chilling, man. Just chilling. I feel like you're going to have a lot to say on what the last caller was talking about.
I didn't catch nothing with the body.
All right.
Tell him.
Well, basically, he's got a buddy that's just, you know, I guess is in Kingston's corner, blaming all the pitching injuries as, you know, if we had this guy, that guy, whatever, you know, our season would look completely different. I mean,
I don't know, how good Mahoney was. And I don't know how good Fitz was going to be.
Mm.
If everybody's healthy, would we have a better pitching staff? Yes, but it wouldn't be better or it wouldn't be good enough to flip the schedule, number one. Because no disrespect, but Mahoney and Phillips are not game. They're just solid pitchers. They're not game changers. They're not Clark Smith or, T.J. Shook, which really didn't have a decent college career, but I shouldn't name T.J. Shook, but they're not, the Tyler Johnsons, or the Brett Carey's, or they're not dominant pitchers.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't hit, it don't matter if you have Brandy Johnson out there, or Roger Clemens, or Greg Maddox, or don't matter who you got out there. If you're hitting 200s in the SEC, you're not going to win.
Yeah. That's a fact, my guy.
People don't know this. Take out Brant Belt out of the lineup and take away his batting average, you're batting 178 as a team without Brant Belt. Under 200. So one guy is carrying you above 200. One guy.
Yeah.
But you're right. 100% correct. You knew Phillips and Jackson, Phillips and Mahoney was going to be out. You know Thomas and Jones was going to be out for a while. You always go back in this season. Now, you didn't know Hicks and Bosnick was going to be out. Now, I think James Hicks was not a good pitcher when it came to SEC play. I figured he would have got to be the one to get hit on, but you never know. But Bosnick is a loss, but that is not on Mark Kingston. The Bosnick injury is on Julian Bosnick and his laziness and coming in overweight, not doing workouts, and not doing what he needs to do to prepare his arm for the season. But last 4 out of 5 years, the pitch has been there for you in South Carolina. The offense never has. Never has. So, even if you have that year, you can say, hey, 4 out of 5 years, you can excuse that. But what I cannot excuse is the 5 straight years of bad offense. You got Jeff Harley, Robinson, Brendan Malone, Brandon Fields, Noah Myers, which, all came to South Carolina. Couldn't hit a fucking lick.
Yeah, and we talked about it. You look at Malone now, man, he's just crushing. Absolutely crushing. I don't care what league you're in. You're swinging it the way he is. It definitely makes you question, why couldn't you get that out of him in Columbia? Why couldn't you get that type of production out of him in Columbia?
And if you think about it, and if you just quit thinking about this season, and let's go back and look at all the stud players that came here and that was supposed to be studs under Kingston, and absolutely have mediocre, terrible seasons here, but go off in the summer league and kill it, like Braylon Wimmer, like Noah Campbell, and I give Josiah Slightler that word too. A high drop pick, turned down money to come to college. Took 2 to 3 years to see the field. He's finally warming up, but he isn't what he was. Noah Campbell, highly named. Big stud coming out of high school. Came to South Carolina. Couldn't hit a lick. I think his best average was 224. Goes to the Cape Cod League. Kills it. Comes back. Bad year again. Goes back to the Cape Cod League. Kills it. Goes pro. Killing it in pro. Braylon Wimmer. Kills it Cape Cod League. And look at him still. So to me, it's got to be Kingston. This has to be.
Yeah. I mean, we've heard it for a while, and I ignored it for as long as I possibly can about Kingston. Some things behind closed doors from players, parents, alums, everything. It's time. Yeah, now it's time. It's time.
But now it's to me where I'm worried about, with all this going on with the board of trustees, will they pull the thing? Will they set the program back another year? And if they choose to give another year, and the way Kingston is, it looks like he's good for a year, bad for a year. Good
Right.
for a year, bad for a year. Now he's bad. So the way it looks is, hey, if you give him another year and he makes the regionals next year, then you're going to have to keep him another year for him to be bad again. And now you're 2 years with Kingston. And I don't want to be that way.
Right.
Kingston's never done good at these past 5 years at South Carolina. Y'all say super, but that was with Holbrook's players.
Mm.
Yeah, he had a bad year. And he went to the regional. Now he's back having a bad year.
Right.
So I just don't know what to tell you. And people want to say we hosted a regional last year, and even if we did, we hosted it by default, it's because a bunch of schools put in a bid to host the regional for Old Dominion because Old Dominion the fans couldn't handle that kind of capacity, and we were just awarded the host
Right.
by default. So I think it's time to move on. There's some good names out there like, Scott Jackson. He has the number one pitching coach in the nation at Liberty as Matt Williams, which was interviewed by Mark Kingston. And if you want to go look for the article, guys, you can search it on Google and say Matt Williams turns down South Carolina, and there's an article, and he'll explain how he was interviewed, but he felt like Kingston ain't gonna be at South Carolina too much longer, and he don't want to switch jobs just to be looking for another job in a year or two. He'd rather stay at Liberty. Scott Jackson's probably the hottest name on the college baseball market right now, along with his wins. I like that coach in Notre Dame, Garrett Williams. He's from Florida State, but he's in his second year with Notre Dame, and they absolutely killing it underneath him. There's the Eric. How you pronounce his last name at ECU?
Godwin.
And,
Come on.
But he always has ECU. He just can't get it done with ECU. But you got to think ECU's ECU, but he always got them there. He always has them there. And just when you got bigger and better schools coming to your regional, it is hard to win them. But it's getting the job done down there at ECU. But he also has turned down Mississippi State. But to stay at his alma mater. But when he comes to South Carolina, he knows the change has to be made. The program's dead. Fans are dead. You was on the golf course yesterday. Didn't really even bother you.
Right.
I was at a racetrack Saturday. Didn't even care to watch the game. And me and you are like two big Carolina Gamecocks, but it's just so boring
Right.
to watch.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, for sure. I mean, again, when you're the apathy, man, just set in. So
now I want to ask you this personal question: if you're Tennessee's head baseball coach, and your alma mater is Missouri, but Tennessee, you're hard at Tennessee, they don't have near the facility as he does at South Carolina versus Tennessee. If the Gamecocks offer, but you are already built Tennessee the way Tennessee's built, would you consider to use Tennessee for a better baseball program, better baseball facilities, more money possible? I don't know how much you mentioned Tennessee. Maybe you can look that up really fast. But
talking about Tony Vitello, right?
better, because he is going to be the hottest name.
Right.
He is the hottest name. But that's
1.5 million. He signed an extension through 2026 last July, 1.5 million per year.
I don't know if we'll pay that because Kingston only made $600K,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Kingston has it near did he's doing it though.
Right.
If you can go get him, go get him. I would love to have him. He's cocky, arrogant. He's got the dog in him, boy. He'll fight for his players. And Kingston shows no emotion. I kind of feel like he's.
I mean, Tony V's the hottest name in college baseball. I mean, when you got a team like they've got, that's no surprise. So.
Yeah, but he's already in the SEC. What scares me is he's already in the SEC and he's already built. He don't have to come to the field. He has to come. At least he has to go back and refield. But he already has something built at Tennessee.
Yeah. Yep. That's a good point.
So that's why I think you're just best bet to go get Scott Jackson. But if Tony wants to give you a look, you'd be stupid not to go look at Tony.
Oh, for sure. No, for sure, dude. Like I said, he arguably hottest name in college baseball, so you got to give him a look.
Well, is it football season yet?
Not quite. Not quite. The countdown, 100-day countdown starts like a month from today, so we're not quite there.
I am afraid that Kingston will be given another year. I do not want that to happen, but I can't control it. And it will be terribly hard to watch this baseball program still fade down. I think this is the time to pull the chain if you're going to do it. So.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think it's just obvious what's got to happen. So.
Thank God there's no big week game. When Matthew Becker, his poor arm, can get some rest.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know if it's just me, but I don't think any other SEC team uses their most important arms for a weekday game is more than South Carolina does.
Yeah, it's a mess. The way it's being managed is a mess, man. I think we can all agree with that. I don't know. I understand they're trying to implement strategy, but I just don't agree with it. So
I don't know. I'll tell you what. I'm ready for football and basketball. Definitely ready to see what's there. With a new look, new hope, kind of what baseball is. New face, new hope. There's no excitement in baseball right now, and that's your bread and butter of this. So I think it's time to see new excitement, new hope. If you miss the SEC tournament, I think you need to go ahead and pull the chain on it. Quit. Don't play around with it. Don't wait a week, or don't wait till after the College World Series. If you're going to fine, and start funding your damn your coaching first.
Right.
Even if the coaches you want still playing in Omaha instead of end of June, who gives a damn? Just fire him so fans are happy.
Yeah. We'll see what happens, my guy. We'll see what happens. I think, though, we all know what needs to happen and what has to happen.
I can't defend Kingston. Like I said, no disrespect to Mahoney or Phillips, but sometimes players are not that good after Tommy John. And I'll give you a prime example, and I hate it because his freshman year, I thought he was going to turn out to be really good for the Gamecocks. But Wesley Sweat, he has not been the same Tommy John surgery, and actually he is worse since Tommy John. And sometimes players just don't have it after Tommy John. And, you never know how good a Mahoney or Phillips would have turned out to be.
Right.
It would have been nice to have them, but who really knows? Because Wesley, I don't know if you agree with it, but Wesley Sweat is not Wesley Sweat freshman year since he's had Tommy John.
Right.
So you just don't ever know. Well, my God, enjoy your week. And, I can't see your comment. I don't know if people are commenting on what I'm saying.
No, I think we're all just kind of listening, my guy. But no, I appreciate you, my dude. I know we'll have more conversation probably throughout the week, but Here's hoping there's change coming soon, my friend.
I would like. I know it's not going to happen because it's a Thursday, Friday, Saturday series, but you got to start the series out with your dog and set the tone. And Kingston has not done that since Clemson.
Mhm.
You got to win the first game and
Yeah.
punch somebody in the mouth sometime. And throw in a Brett Thomas or a Adrian Hunter is not going to set the tone on a Friday night game. It's just not. But you can't go put Will Sanders out there on a Thursday after he just fixed yesterday either. So.
Yeah.
I expect I don't know who you expect Friday, but I expect somebody weird Thursday, like an Adrian Hunter or Brett Thomas, or maybe Elijah Jones. Elijah Jones will pick Thursday, and Noah Hall Friday and Will Sanders Saturday. So I got us this weekend. I got us losing 2 out of 3 to Alabama because Alabama hit. The following week, I was losing 2 out of 3 to A&M because we play shitty on the road. The following week, I'm getting swept by Kentucky at Kentucky because Kentucky absolutely raped, and you're at Kentucky, or maybe you're home. One of the two, but Kentucky rapes. And Florida, I got you losing 2 out of 3, possibly getting swept because you play road. 2-10 on the road, 2-1 neutral site. So you only win 4 total games away from home. And basically, if you're at somebody's house, you're 2-10. So you don't play good on the road.
Yeah. For sure. Skyland, appreciate it, my man. We're going to jump into a break, but yeah, well said, my friend.
Later.
All right, brother. Take care. Good stuff from Skyland. Love to hear it. Again, love the perspective, love the insight, guys. We are going to jump into a quick break, but I want to continue to hear from you, more of your questions, comments, calls, and more on the other side. You're tuned in to the Daily Crow. All right, guys, we're back taking your questions, comments, calls. 843-790-3377. That's 843. Got a little speck here on the mic. 843-790-3377. Let's see. DGD says, I have y'all finishing 4th in the SEC this year. Am I crazy? No, I don't, Georgia, Tennessee, Kentucky. No, I don't think you're crazy. I think 4th is fair. DGD can't wait for football season. Game at Willie B has to be a night game to return the favor, I assume. Well, I think there's a very good chance a night game. Of course, I think South Carolina's going to win week 1 against Georgia State. I think they're going to win week 1 against Georgia State. And, I think after that, of course, that's when the kickoff time will be announced that week. And so I think it just makes too much sense, man, not to have a night game. Spencer Rattler, defending national champions. I just think it makes sense. So I definitely think that will be a night game. I think that'll be a night game at Willie B, which will be a lot of fun. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun, man. South Carolina, Georgia is always fun, but like I said, you factor in the Rattler thing, and so. Let's see. Tommy Wallace, if you recruit depth and coach up depth, it overcomes injury. Injury's always been part of the game. No, I agree. It's win anyway. Bottom line. It's win anyway, bottom line. So, let's see. Ritter, I don't think that Ohio State transfer is confirmed yet. It's rumored, not confirmed. He's announcing, I think he said on his personal page around 4 o'clock. But it sounds like we are getting him, which would be a huge pickup for Lamont Paris. Jay, watching the team this year makes you realize how much talent we had last year, how disappointing that regional exit was. Well, I tell you what, though, look at what Virginia is doing. So they were pretty damn good themselves. It's not like we lost to some, trash Virginia team. They are one of the best teams in all of college baseball this year. So, Colby Parker, since Clemson has beat us in basically everything this year, it would be nice to get the basketball commit over them. Just saying, yeah. Wherever you can find the small victories, my guy, wherever you can find the small victories. Travis says, if we can beat Arkansas, it would be a huge momentum boost. Yeah, it would. It'd be huge. Again, I think that's the biggest swing game of the season. Biggest swing game. It's not a must-win game. It's not a must-win game. I think you lose that game, you can still have a really, really good year. But it is the biggest swing game in the sense that if you do win it, opens up a brand new door of possibilities for your season. All of a sudden, much bigger things could be on the table. I think you could possibly get College Game Day. You could possibly get College Game Day if you do win that game week 2 for Georgia. So who knows? But not a must win, but the biggest swing game, absolutely, in my mind. John Kruger, the name of the Ohio State transfer is Michi Johnson. Michi Johnson. Michi Johnson is his name. So, Rebecca, what's going on? Appreciate you tuning in. Hope you're doing well. Again, guys, podcast dropped this morning, episode 641, full breakdown of the weekend. Updated thoughts on Mark Kingston, the status of the baseball program, everything in between. Also, some thoughts on the transfer portal stuff that's hit both basketball and football. And a quick schedule update. No Daily Crow Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and just 2 podcasts this week. Podcast will drop as normal Wednesday, but no podcast on Friday. Again, we'll be out of town Wednesday through the weekend. So you only got today and tomorrow on the Daily Crow. So if you got anything you want to say, any predictions, any thoughts on County Baseball or anything else for that matter, today and tomorrow, that's going to be your best chances. Again, content will be bleeding out the eyeballs. We might do some special things this weekend. But outside of that, again, with no Daily Crow Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, just want to give you guys an update and let you all know. Let's see. Again, guys, taking your questions, comments, calls, 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. Trayon Webb, did he commit to us? I don't think so. Trayon Webb, has he committed to anybody? No, he just posted. We sent him some spring practice graphic, but there's been no commitment there. No commitment there, Cocky Twan, not that I've seen. No commitment that I've seen. Let's see. Anyways, guys, it's time. It's time to make a change. How about, by the way, just kind of a side note, Elon Musk has bought Twitter. Elon Musk has bought Twitter. So how does that change things? I don't know. Elon Musk has officially bought Twitter. Yeah, Rebecca, Robbie Davis did call in today. Robbie Davis called in the first hour, Rebecca. Robbie Davis did call in the first hour. So let's see. Brian Dean, I went to opening day. I think the plan definitely will be to go to another Braves game. Would certainly like to. Again, the battery's incredible. They're a lot of fun. It's a beautiful venue, beautiful ballpark, and the Braves are good. The Braves are good. I know they're off to a little bit of a slow start, but guys, we're literally like 15 games in. Whatever. The Braves games are awesome. Definitely going to try to get to another one. So, definitely going to try to get to another one. Let's see. Yeah, it sounds like the kid from Ohio State that we might be getting, which it's rumored we're going to get him, the Michi Johnson kid. He was a 4-star player out of high school, was on the Ohio State team and went 20-12, 12-8 in Big Ten play. They lost in the round of 32 in the postseason. Did not start for them, but played starter minutes, played a lot off the bench. So would be a good pickup. Again, Lamont Paris slowly but surely trying to build up the roster. It's going to be a rough first year or two, guys, for sure. You got to build up this team and build up this roster and try to build this program any way you can. You got to find a way to do that. So, yeah, Skyland, he commits today at 4:00, but it's rumored we are going to get him. It's rumored we will be getting him. It's rumored we will be getting him. So. Brian Dean says, I'm going to Cardinals Braves. That'll be fun. Cardinals Braves will be fun. Cardinals Braves will be fun for sure. Skyline, I got you. Like I said, it'll be around 4 o'clock when he picks. Garrett says, something to think about. If we had Rattler last year with our same roster, do we win the close Kentucky and Mizzou games and go 9-4? It's easy to look back, I guess, and say that, but you do feel like, if we have Spencer Rattler, we do beat Kentucky for sure. And I want to say we beat Mizzou. Defense, I feel like, was the problem, though, in that one, and we couldn't run the ball. You'd like to think we would. Any other games? Yeah, I think Kentucky and Mizzou are the two big ones that, we it's a good chance. I think especially Kentucky. I do think we beat Kentucky if we have Spencer Rattler last year. I like to think so. There's no guarantees. You never know. But I'd like to think so. The offense, of course, as we know, guys, should improve drastically. It should improve drastically. This should be a 30 points per game type of offense. This should be a 30 points per game type of offense. So, yeah. Skylights people are looking at us and visiting us that wouldn't give us a chance when Frank was here. I don't know. Colby, the foam finger is supposed to fit that way, my guy. It literally will not fit in that space, so it's supposed to be sort of bent, if you will. I don't know if that drives you crazy. I don't know what to tell you. Cover that side of your screen, I guess. Guys, we're going to jump into one final break. I want to continue to hear from you, more of your questions, comments, calls, and more on the other side. You're tuned in to the Daily Crow. All right, guys, we're back. Final 10 minutes or so here on the Daily Crow, taking your questions, your comments, your calls. 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. I want to continue to hear from you. Let's see. Skyland says, what happened to the whiteboard? Well, Skyland, there's no place to put it back there, my guy. And I just kind of thought the whiteboard had gotten stale a little bit. And once I had my guy Pick 6 previews on the show, I wanted to get the helmets up. Obviously, we're still selling those helmets, by the way, these mini helmets in sets of 10. You can also do a Pick 7 if you want to do that. But we're still selling these helmets. tsus.store is where you can find them. But I wanted to get those helmets up when I talked to my guy, Brett Ciancia of Pick 6 Previews, again, who we partner with to make them. And I just thought, you know what? It's time to change up the backdrop a little bit. So the whiteboard, it's actually sitting right over here in the studio, but it is retired as of now. You never know. The whiteboard could make a return, but it is retired as of now. I just thought, we're kind of just saying the same thing on the whiteboard a lot. And I like the whiteboard. Don't get me wrong. I like the whiteboard, but it was time to switch it up. You get to some points, it's time to switch it up, change things up, all that good stuff. John Kruger says South Carolina, Tennessee, and what are the 3 schools for Traven Webb? I'm not 100. I think Florida's one of them. I'm not exactly sure. Not exactly sure the other ones. Let's see. Gigi Jackson announcing he will announce his college decision on Wednesday at 3 p.m. at his high school. There's 0% chance we get him, right? That would be the shocker of all shockers if we got him, right? The shocker of all shockers. Again, guys, less than 10 minutes to go. Podcast dropped this morning. Rebecca, you must have loved the clip with Darius Rucker, by the way, where he said F Tennessee. You must have loved that. Rebecca, you had to have loved that. You had to have loved that. Rebecca, you got to go check out the video, the Darius Rucker video. Yes, DGD, this is the Rebecca. Rebecca Standage. This is the Rebecca. This is the Rebecca, DGD. So you are in the presence of greatness right now. You are in the presence of greatness right now. Straight up. Now, John, Tennessee is in baseball, my man. They are. You got to tip your cap to them, bro. You have to tip your cap to them. They're unreal. Straight up, they're unreal. They're unreal. So they're unfreaking real. Dude, we're all for show. What do you think happens first? Does Carolina step up in football or does Clemson fall off? I think Carolina steps up first. I do. I just think, guys, being in the ACC, I don't think until Florida State or Miami or Va Tech or whatever, until one of those teams gets their heads out of their tails and they step up and take ownership of the ACC, I just don't think Clemson's going to go anywhere. Who's going to dethrone them in that conference? Who's going to dethrone them? Pittsburgh? So I think we got to raise our game. We can't bank on them falling off. We can't bank on them falling off. We can't do it. Let's jump to the phone lines here.
Call from
Ricardo Benson.
to accept, press.
Ricardo, what's up, man? How are you?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm good, man. I see you calling in from the NA. Represent, man. What's up?
Oh, yeah. How's that, what you think about the spring game?
I thought it was a blast. Yeah, had a great time. Thought Rattler looked good. And, yeah, so had a great time, man. Had a great time. I think there's a lot of positives to take away and excited for the season.
You think that old line going to hold up this year?
I hope so, man. That's the big question. I hope so. That is the big question for sure. So.
Oh, yeah, old Fatkins up there.
Yeah, that's the
you
big.
don't know what he's going to do.
Yeah, that's no, like I said, that's the big question. I mean, you return your top 8 offensive linemen, so you would think they're going to be a lot better in year 2 of the scheme. But you know, I thought they were going to be a strength last year, and it never clicked.
Yeah, I was down there at the Clemson game, and I seen them eating 5 Big Macs on the sideline.
5 Big Macs.
5 Big Macs. Sat there and watched him down the mall.
I hear you.
All right, Chris, you have a good one, man.
Hey,
I just calling to say hello.
Hey, I appreciate it, man. Good stuff. Appreciate it, my man. 843-790-3377. Rebecca, you got time to call in if you want to call, Rebecca. You got time to call in. Phone lines are open. You got time. You got a couple minutes. Got to make it quick. But you got time to call in. EJ Jenkins is out here begging to be recruited. Posting on Twitter, you'll be getting a dog. Anyways, here we go. Let's jump to the phone lines here.
From
Rebecca.
Rebecca, what's going on? How are you?
Good. I'll say a lot of people's been asking about me, haven't they?
They have. Rebecca, of course. We all want to know how you're doing.
I'm doing pretty good. And haven't been enjoying my DoorDash job.
Really?
I really love it. You get to communicate with different people and get to know them.
Get to meet all kinds of folks.
You see, I made over $70 last week. That's pretty good.
Love that. I love to hear that, Rebecca. Rebecca, you still there?
Yeah, I am. I'm reading the comments on here. No, I haven't seen a picture of this guy, Kingston guy. And I don't know him. I haven't really paid attention on baseball. But I know everybody's wanting to hear it. So Keaton can kiss our ass. There you go.
That's it. Mark Kingston can kiss our ass. Well said. Poetic as always. Poetic as always. Mark Kingston has felt the wrath of Rebecca. We knew it was coming. We knew it was going to happen. It was only a matter of time.
Right?
Indeed.
What is she smoking? Nothing. People, y'all know that I don't smoke or drink.
People just like to mess with you in the comments, Rebecca. Just imagine being on my side of things. It's you got to have some thick skin. Hey, Rebecca, we've hit 2:00, but I appreciate you calling in. Like I said, I did want to hear from you, and be sure to call in tomorrow. We'll be rocking and rolling again.
If I'm not doing DoorDash.
Yeah, if you're not doing DoorDash, if you are, no big deal. But if you're not, feel free. Phone lines are always open for you.
Enjoy yourself when you're down there.
I appreciate it, Rebecca. Yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah, I just thought I'd tell you to enjoy yourself. You're supposed to be going out of town, right?
Mm-hmm. I am. Yep. No, yeah. Going out of town. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, I was going to tell you, be careful.
Thank you.
I thought I'd say that so that be careful and enjoy yourself.
Rebecca, I appreciate it. Will do.
All
right. We'll talk to you soon.
right.
Take care. Good stuff. Again, guys, we got a lot going on today. Sorry. We've hit 2:00. Appreciate you all calling in, commenting, tuning in, everything else, guys. Be sure to check out the podcast that dropped this morning. Also, again, just quick update. No Daily Crow Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Podcast on Wednesday, but no pod on Friday. We'll be out of town Wednesday through the end of the weekend. So be sure to tune to the Daily Crow tomorrow and get your questions in, your calls, everything else. Until then, just stay tuned. Content bleeding out the eyeballs. Guys, appreciate you all tuning in. Have a great rest of your day, and we will talk to you